Mimikyu fan is exactly right. We're talking about me. If I can figure out how to get 15 Nintendo Switches trading you guys out Pokemon every week, I'm pretty sure we can figure out this. Well, glad to not disappoint there, Casey. Alright. Brock, to answer your question, the way that I am able to do this is, of course, this is on my GameCube, right? I have a Game Boy player attached to the bottom of my GameCube. I will be playing with the Wavebird controller that I just accidentally changed the channel on. Okay, there we go. But there's two methods for this. I have this Ven Ben. I can plug a cartridge like so into it and connect it to my computer, extract a save, edit it all that way. But I did this and started this forever ago. I have a DS Lite. Really old. Might be older than some of you. And I have an R4 card in it, which lets me pop a Game Boy game into the bottom of it and extract the save file that way. I put it into my computer and gave myself the event. So this is a 100% legit shiny Mew hunt done through illegitimate means. So, did I get the event legitimately? No, absolutely not. But, I mean, this Mew is in this game's coding. When I catch it, no system on Earth will be able to distinguish the difference between this Mew and a Mew that was caught from the event 10 years ago. Well, almost 2 decades ago, but whatever. So yeah. Yeah, and Shark Lord's absolutely right. I am playing on a Japanese cartridge of Emerald, since by technicality, English Mew was never possible because we never got the Old Sea Scroll event. Well, I say that, but there were some outside of Japan. They just didn't really go to America that easily. So that's how I'm doing it. Yes, there is some of the gift Pikachus that wouldn't go into home. There was even some that I gave away that wouldn't go into home because when I was in the middle of that giveaway, they decided to require home trackers. Yeah, I said 8F Mew was not legitimate and would not go into home in one of my other streams, but this is not 8F Mew. This is Pokemon Emerald Mew. Because I had also mentioned in that same dissertation that I would be shiny hunting Mew legitly, in some form. Oh snap! Where's my counter? My counter is gone. Where's my counter? Ooh, whoa, that was cool. Why's my counter gone? I literally just saw it. Hey, there it is. There's my counter. There we go. The Let's Go gift Pikachu for Sword and Shield? I've never heard of it. Oh! The Gigantamax one? Mimikyu fan, there was a Gigantamax Pikachu and a Gigantamax Eevee, depending on if you had a Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee save file on your Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty sure they're talking about that one. Oh, I'm sure they will, Brock. Like, I am counting down the days until we get our Pokemon Presents on the 27th. I think it's very highly likely that since we have Game Boy Advance capabilities, we will be getting our Pokemon games on the Switch so they can kill the system. The best part about that is that I think they will be equally as able to be hacked as the old games. Absolutely, you should, Sharklord. Right, KC is such a great game. The only downside of this game is that its RNG is broken. So, for those wondering, the reason why I'm not saving in front of it and soft resetting is because Emerald will physically not allow you to soft reset for shinies. That's what I mean by its RNG is broken. Emerald has this weird glitch where the same 20 frames will play every single time you turn on and off the system, which, from what they say, has no impact if you're just shiny hunting wild Pokemon through the grass methods. But if you're trying to do a static encounter, you will never get your shiny unless you happen to save within 20 frames of the shiny. Because you can like load it up and get into it in less than 5 frames. Yeah, that's what I've heard, Relapse, that it makes it easier to RNG manipulate a shiny. I've never had much success with RNG manipulation. Come on, missing it by that much. I really should look into RNG method. Like, I feel like if I could figure it out, a lot of my shiny hunts would go so much faster. As soon as I'm done with Mew, I'm going to move on to Deoxys, and when I'm done with Deoxys, I'm going to break the crap out of a Jirachi hunt. That is awesome, Relapse. I'm sure Papa Hefty can teach me the ways. I lost it. Does this character even blink? You don't get shinies in the game anymore. Rest in peace, shinies. But hey, you got all the beast balls you could ever want, I suppose. I had somebody message in for one of the comments that they were able to get, like, they filled up their Beast Ball repository. They had 999 of them. You know how many trades you have to do? I mean, obviously the math is simple, but like, oh my gosh. 999 trades for Beast Balls is crazy. He did 132 on that same video. That's awesome. I just have a fear with this shiny hunt that I'm gonna get it off stream on my Game Boy Advance. Because like I can't always be at my computer, but I really want to find these as quickly as possible. So I also do some shiny hunting on my handheld devices. That's why I'm at like 700 encounters right now instead of the 150 I left off last stream on. But I love how quick these encounters are after shiny hunting on Sword Shield and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl for so long. Like, these encounters feel like nothing, even without soft resetting. If I was soft resetting, it would be so fast. Oh my gosh, the boot up on this is amazing. Oh, come on. I'm thinking I might shiny hunt Deoxys on Fire Red Leaf Green since they don't have internal batteries and they shouldn't have any issues with anything else, unless I can figure out RNG method, which could make this really easy since it loads up like the same sequence every single time. So with my programming code class, we've been working with some lists and menu-driven apps and things like that, and I need to start practicing on those. I'm thinking one of the things that I'm going to do for an application on my GitHub, just for fun, is I'm going to program a little app that will tell me what the best game to shiny hunt any given Pokemon in will be. I mean, obviously I could just Google it, and I'll have to Google it to put the information in, but it's one of those things that I'll have to keep Googling, so it's like, it'd be cool to just have an app, enter in the name of a Pokemon, have it search a database that I've created, okay, what games are these Pokemon in? If it is obtainable in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you know, return that that's going to be the best game to shiny hunt it in because of the sandwiches and the odds and the ease of access there. If it is not in Scarlet Violet, search Sword and Shield for it. If it's not there, search BDSP for it. If it's not there, search Let's Go Pikachu Eevee for it. If it's not there, search Generation 7 for it. And, you know, so on and so forth down the list to Generation 3. Oh crap, I missed it. And then if it's not shiny huntable, or is shiny locked, just return not huntable, event only. And that's something that, like, I wouldn't mind doing a stream for. And in that, I totally forgot Legends Arceus, so oops. Hey, Kells and Roy's Witchy Stuff, welcome. I do like the nostalgia trip this game brings. It's a good time, good place. Many nights at one of my friend's house, up till 2 o'clock in the morning, played this game. Oh hey, epic night out. Love it. Congrats, shiny Suicune. However you're supposed to pronounce that Pokemon's name. Suicune, 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 Suicune. It is definitely a blast from the past. My shiny hunting streams for the next probably 4 months, maybe 6 months, are going to be consisting of this. So it's going to be a really long blast from the past. Because I'm going to do Mew, I'm going to do Deoxys, and then I'm going to do Jirachi. And once I get them, I'm going to duplicate the crap out of them and send them on up through bank. When is Gale of Darkness happening is the real question. Honestly, as soon as I finish Colosseum, because that still hasn't happened, but I'm not opposed to finishing it. It's just been put on the back burner for so long. But yeah, it is something that I really do want to finish and go through, because one of my goals before Bank shuts down is to play through every single Pokemon game going up the list, and Pokemon Colosseum was meant to start that because that was going to be the most out of the way game to use. That, and I was getting prepared for Jirachi, and I think I'm actually going to have to beat Pokemon Colosseum again so I can get the Agato Celebi, because I have that disc as well. That game is going to be a pain in the butt to get. And I'm also trying to track down some spoofed e-reader cards, because I do have an e-reader, and I want to get all of the Shadow Pokemon from Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness. There are a few that are only e-reader available. But yes, I do want to go through those games and transport a 100% living dex all the way up. Because the problem with my living dex right now is I don't know where all of the Pokemon came from, and it really bothers me. Like, now that I can have, you know, Virtual Console Gen 1 and 2, I am really tempted to have my living dex be Generation 1, like Pokemon 1 through 151. They came from Generation 1. You know, 152 through 251, they came from Generation 2. So on and so forth up the list. Like, I think that would be really cool to do, since it can be done. E-reader specific Pokemon from that game. I don't write off, but I know there's 4 of them. Wonder if I still have it in my repository here. Oops. Looks like one of them might have been Togepi. Togepi, Mareep, and Scizor. There are 3 of them. No. I am using my GameCube. And a physical cartridge of a Japanese version of Pokemon Emerald. Oh my gosh, getting that copy of Emerald was so sketch. Like, I almost got scammed on this. It took them 2 months to send it to me. It was supposed to come with a wireless adapter, but it didn't. And it was supposed to be in box, but it wasn't. TMA, I am shiny hunting Mew through means of a DS Lite, an R4 card, and giving myself the event for it. So, capturing a 100% legit shiny Mew, or at least hunting for it, through illegitimate methods. Yeah, there's just like 2 flags that you need to change on your game cart to say, hey, we received this gift and we have this item. And you can just like sail a ship straight here. Mew. Hey, I recognize that name. Yeah, this site that I bought it off of eBay, but this seller was like really sketchy. Like, they had such great reviews, but after I bought the game, I started seeing that the last month they had just negative review after negative review. It's almost like somebody sold the store and somebody else took over. Oh, GameCube was such a great console. Like, I don't know why it didn't do so well for Nintendo, but like, the GameCube was awesome. You'll see me when the ritual is done. Awesome. And hello, Lonmi. PS2 is still like one of the highest selling consoles of all time. I think it's just behind the Nintendo Switch now. Call you Yuki? Alright. When I first got my GameCube, it was the first console that I bought with my own money. You know, a lot of it was birthday money, but a good portion of it was I worked my butt off for this money. When I bought it, I had just enough down to the penny to pay for the console after tax. And I was not able to get any games for it or a memory card. So for the first like 3 months of me owning my GameCube, I couldn't really do anything with it. My mom took pity on me one day and got me the Game Boy Advance player for my GameCube attachment. So I was like, well, at least you can play Game Boy Advance games on your GameCube because you have a lot of Game Boy Advance games. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool, let's do it. So we got that. And then, you know, after that 3-month time period, I was finally able to buy Wind Waker. First game I ever bought on the GameCube was Wind Waker. And when I got enough money saved up for that one, I barely had enough to get the game. So I was unable to save said game. I played Wind Waker for 2 weeks straight. Like, I had my GameCube just running for 2 weeks straight because I couldn't shut off the game because I didn't have a way to save it. And finally, I got a memory card for it. Only to find out that when I insert the memory card, you have to turn the console off, then on. Like, it has to be off when you insert the memory card, or you have to insert the memory card prior to turning it on for it to load the contents and save to it. So, like, the 2 weeks of me running my GameCube was all for nothing because I couldn't save to the memory card even when I got it. I had a pretty terrible experience with the GameCube, but it's still one of my favorite consoles. Oh wow, Casey, that's terrible luck. 8 used PS2s from GameStop, and none of them work. They gave you a free Silver Slim one. Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy, man. That blows my mind. Current generation of gamers don't know what a memory card is. No, they only know your storage is full because you have too many games downloaded. That one's ridiculous to me. You mean this one? Freaking love this thing. I actually replaced the screen a while back in it. And just because I love it so much. Put it on the freezer, bounced off his head. Yeah, that seems like normal stuff. Started working again. Oh my gosh, yes. That boot up sound has no business sounding that good. It's like the Game Boy Advance SP and the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 have some of the most iconic... Oh gosh dang it. That wasn't supposed to happen. boot up sounds ever. Now, I would say the fourth most iconic boot up sound for a system is the Nintendo Switch. Kyren in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. I had to include the PS2 because of all of the memes that I've seen people post with it. Hey, Jupiter, welcome. Hopefully that wasn't there too long. I do not recall what the PS1 boot sound was. I almost got into Digimon because of that, though. Oh, awesome, Jupiter. Yeah. I try to check Twitch comments. Sometimes they get missed. But I can see it on my screen here, so that's good. Oh, gosh dang it. Ah, he will beat you this time. Silly Kyren. The red screen when you boot up the PS2 gives you heart attacks. Oh my gosh. And the freaking Xbox. That one had a pretty good, I mean, the Xbox 360, that one had a great boot up. It wasn't so great if you got the red ring of death though, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, Jupiter. It is a little bit harder to consistently check Twitch when there's usually not anybody there. It's like, oh my gosh, somebody's chatting from Twitch. Oh my gosh. Which is funny, because Twitch used to be my busy platform. You red ringed your roommate's 360 playing Gundam? Oh my gosh. I think the Xbox 360 is one of my favorite consoles. Had a great controller. When it first came out, well, not when it first came out, but like one of the later models, I feel like could play Blu-rays when PlayStation 3 was over there being lame about it. Or maybe it was the Xbox One and... yeah, maybe it was the Xbox One. And the PlayStation 4. I just remember Xbox had Blu-ray capabilities before Sony did, and I thought it was absurd. Those were the times of old, and YouTube is the time of the present. I think Twitch, like, if you want to grow on Twitch, you have to be 100% consistent, and I am not that. So, like, you need a schedule to get a following on Twitch. YouTube, it's kind of just like, I mean, if you're here, you're here. Oh yeah. Yeah, Halo was like the entire reason behind the Xbox's success. That, and I feel like, okay, maybe I'm like wrong, but The Switch library is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, library of games that we've ever seen on a console ever. And that's mostly in part due to the dev kit being so readily accessible and so easy to work with. And a lot of indie games coming to that platform. But I feel like the Xbox 360 has one of the largest game collections out there. Like, I wouldn't venture to say it's larger than the PlayStation 2, because I'm pretty sure the PlayStation 2 is the largest, if not beaten out by the Switch at this point, but Xbox 360 had such a huge library of games, even though like most of them went unnoticed by the majority of people. Yeah, launched without an HDMI port. It sure did. I don't think mine mine still has the component cable. And mine is an Elite. Like, I think my Xbox 360 is a Slim, and it still uses the component cable, but it might have an HDMI down below. Maybe I just don't use it. Come to think of it, it probably has HDMI down below. It probably has both. My first Xbox 360 was a freaking arcade, and I had to get a memory expansion for it. That pissed me off. Oh, the PS1 has the most games? That's crazy. That is mind-blowing. How many is the Switch at if you're Google searching? Then again, the PS1 had Final Fantasy VII, so like... That's really cool. Oh, I missed it again. $4,094. Dang. I thought it would be a lot higher than that by now. I am not good with the joystick, apparently. Yeah, that is so crazy. I'll go back to using the D-pad. The most annoying part about this Mew Hunt, hands down, is you have to have a very specific pattern to find it quickly. I heard a rumor that Microsoft is making all of its games third party, like they're going to be available on the PlayStation or some crap. I'm wondering how true that's going to be. Wonder if they'll just devolve into a game company instead of a console company. Nice, Casey. I've had a copy of Final Fantasy VII a couple times. For PlayStation 1. Oh, okay. Xbox exclusives coming to PC and PlayStation. Crisis Core. I've heard good things about Crisis Core. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Microsoft lost the console wars. Like, although I just don't understand how. PS5 outsold new gen Xbox 3-1. Which, that really blows my mind because in my area, like, there were never any PlayStation 5s available. Like, it was crazy. You could find Xboxes, but maybe you just couldn't find PS5s because they were all getting bought, and you could find Xbox because they weren't. I don't know. But it seems like the PlayStation does have more going for it as far as, you know, virtual reality capabilities and stuff. The Xbox brand has never been competitive in Japan. Well, that makes sense. I mean, when you can't get Final Fantasy, like one of the biggest JRPGs there is, like, I guess it's not really a JRPG, but like an RPG. Like, yeah, it's kind of hard to win in Japan when everything is being built on Sony or Nintendo. Like, they have you know, national loyalty over there, I suppose, buying their country's system first. Final Fantasy did carry a bit. I just love the origin story for Final Fantasy. Like, I think it's so cool. Like, why it's named Final Fantasy is a great story. One thing that I don't think I'll ever understand is the progression of the Final Fantasy universe. Oh, yeah, Casey. Final Fantasy is named Final Fantasy because the company that produced it made games that didn't sell very well. So when they went and made Final Fantasy, they called it that because it was their company's last-ditch effort at staying, you know, making games. And this is all the way back on the NES, right? So they're like, we're gonna make one final game. It's gonna be the Final Fantasy that we're making. And that's how it got its name, is Final Fantasy. And it did so insanely well that it pulled them out of near bankruptcy. At least, that's the story I've heard. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's kind of similar to Five Nights at Freddy's when Scott Cawthon made Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, that was his last attempt at being a game developer. And he finally got it right. Some of the Final Fantasy games are crazy insane. I don't know if I could do it. My friend is really into Final Fantasy. And like, if I was ever to do Final Fantasy on the channel, I'd reach out to him to cover it. And it has been thought about just so the channel can like stay relevant and, well, not stay relevant, but grow and expand. Like, I've thought about it. Like, if I could get the channel to make more money so that, you know, two of us could actually get something out of working on it, like, I would do it in a heartbeat. Shark Lord, I sure hope not. When there's Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and Black and White to take into account, Wait, how does that work, Casey? Like, did that make it so that you couldn't complete the game? Because that seems like a pretty bad dev oversight. Pretty bad dev oversight. Wow. Sorry, Shark Lord. I have feelings about Sword and Shield. Depending on the day, Sword and Shield is my least favorite Pokemon game in the entire franchise. But it really bounces between 3 different generations. Like, I really can't decide between Generation 4, Generation 7, and Generation 8, which is my least favorite. Like, there's things I hate about each game, and it depends on the day of which one I think is most egregious to me. Like, I hate how small and isolated Alola actually is. The Pokemon are great, though. I hate the island challenges. I hate the totem Pokemon. Generation 8. I hate Hop with the burning, firing passion of 1,000 dying suns. Like, I hate it. Pokemon, pretty great still. I hate the story. I hate how forced it is. I hate how many cutscenes there are in it. I hate how meaningless those cutscenes are in it. And the replay value is almost 0. Generation 4 is just atrociously slow. It has a lot of good Pokemon in it, but it also has some that I don't like. It is the most unwarranted, fan-raving inducing game there is in the entire franchise. And its remakes were just as bad. Like, it runs so slow. So yes, most of the time, I lean with Generation 8 as my least favorite because it feels more like a copy of Generation 7. Like, you can't tell me that How and Hop aren't the same person. Like, as much crap as I give Generation 7, it at least tried something new. And it's like, okay, yeah, it didn't work out. It didn't have gyms. It, like, I didn't like that, but the Pokemon were at least cool. Also, screw Primarina. Like, no. Screw that entire line. Can't tell your least favorite. That's funny. Diamond Pearl remake is a poor showing. I love how, like, divisive the comments and, like, the rumor mongering is. Like, oh, ICLA's doing the Generation 5 remakes. And just crap like that. Primarina is the worst starter. I love that comment, Casey. It's just a really creepy looking mermaid. Like, what business did they have making a seal mermaid? Like, either go with a full seal or go with a mermaid. It doesn't need to be a mermaid to be a fairy type seal. Oh gosh, dang it. Also, Aragon, hello, welcome. Love that book series, by the way. You are also going for a shiny Mew? Well, bust of luck, but not better than mine. Because I want to find this. Ah, Shark Lord. That's why many fans of the series will argue that it is actually one of the better ones. I played through that game no less than 15 times, and it is still one of the highest requested game remakes in the Pokemon series history. Outside of Diamond Pearl, because those fans were the loudest. But its story was there. It's not that it doesn't have story. It's that you had to read and dive for its story. Its story was what you made it. Its story was, here's the Pokedex, go and catch all 151. The gyms were a secondary story. Like, the idea of doing the gyms, becoming the champion, that was secondary to the goal of your entire purpose is to complete the Pokedex. And when the game came out, it was in an era where the internet wasn't popular. There wasn't GameFAQs. There wasn't, you know, IGN showing you where every Pokemon was at. You had to go and find them. And I have a friend that had the other copy to get the Pokemon from there too. Like, its story was, where do you find these Pokemon? Talk to everybody. Every house had a door, almost. Every house had a person in it, almost, that you could talk to that would give you little tidbits about this, that, or the other. The Burned Mansion had lore for Mew that isn't even in the game. It's like, hey, this Pokemon we found, you know, we made a clone of it, and there's diaries and records to look at for that. There's Bill saying, hey, there's these 3 Pokemon that I've never really seen before. You might want to go find them. There's Cubone getting its mother killed in front of it, and that whole thing with Team Rocket, you know, like, it has a lot of story to it, but it's story that you have to look for, which this generation of gamers that's coming up from 2005 onward aren't used to doing. Like, you want a game with no story? Play Zelda 2. The Adventures of Link. That game is a game with no story. You get like a paragraph or 2 of text at the beginning of the game, and the rest of it's just like, figure it out, dude. That one's wild. Still, one of my favorite Zelda games. But I can see your point of view as to why it would be horrible. Lavender music still hits. What I think is terrible is that they say when they programmed the game that they just barely had enough memory to put Mew in there, right? But they left it out because they were worried the game wouldn't perform right. But then they decided, no, we're just going to release this with events and crap. You know, we're going to send out a cell phone event or some weird thing like that to a few lucky people. Hey, good morning, Ruby Swirl. Gold and Silver were amazing sequel games. You know, I mean, it felt like they were the same game but different. Added to the Pokemon roster, of course. Really kind of fleshed out what we could do. Still the same story, you know, there wasn't much story with those ones. I mean, you found the burned tower, heard rumors of Ho-Oh, found Lugia in the Whirlpool, like, had interesting going-ons with the gym leaders and things that you had to accomplish. Like, there was a lot going on for that. But yeah, no, story, complete the Pokedex, figure out what this egg nonsense is. And the music soundtrack for that game just is amazing. But, like, Generation 3 will always be peak for me. Like, the music slaps in this game. It has very vibrant colors, very good looking, still to this day. It had a great roster. Like, the best starter trio we've ever had, in my opinion. If Generation 1 was not it, this one most definitely is. Like, I say this, and like, it's speaking it into existence for somebody to prove me wrong, but I can't think of one person I know that seriously hates all of the Generation 3 starters. Like, obviously you have the Trico fan people. There's a lot of people that love Blaziken and Torchic. I am a die-hard Mudkip fan, and that is the true choice among all of those, but I digress. I don't know anybody that's like, Gen 3 starters were garbage. Like, I don't know anybody that can honestly say that. Good night, Ruby Swirls. Yeah, I don't think they're ever topping Generation 3. The lore alone for Generation 3 like beats out everything but Legends Arceus, and that's because we get to be more closer to the source of the lore. But once again, at a time period where you didn't really have the internet showing you every little detail for the games, you just randomly come across caverns that have Braille on it, and like, as a kid that can see to play the game, you have no freaking clue what Braille is to even look at what those markings are. And like, if you manage to figure it out, you go on a whole side quest for 3 additional Pokemon. Regirock, Registeel, and Regice. Like, Rayquaza was optional, but you could go and find it. Groudon and Kyogre story is kind of cool, with Team Magma and Team Aqua fighting and vying for who's going to extend land or who's going to extend water for more life of their favorite type of Pokemon. You know, and then there's a deeper context that you don't get until you're a lot older, that, like, Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire are all about climate change and balance in nature and human impact on that. Like, it, as a kid, you don't really see it that much. It's just like, oh yeah, this team wants water to be more, this team wants ground to be more, you know? But like, when you really think about it, the whole legendary trio, the Regirock, Registeel, and Regice, representing different ages of humanity in the world, like, it's all about the climate, the world, and how to, you know, balance everything, which is really cool. Hey, Jimmy. Yeah, it is. It is a Japanese copy of Emerald that I put the Mew event onto. That's why I can't read anything on the screen. So, basically, this will be a 100% legit Mew obtained through illegitimate methods. Well, semi-illegitimate methods. Prefer the Sinnoh starters. Felt robbed they didn't get Megas. A little bit, yeah. I love Infernape. I usually choose Infernape or Piplup. Turtwig has grown on me. I like Turtwig. In fact, I love Turtwig. Let's not play there. I love Turtwig. Like, I think Turtwig is the cutest of the 3 starters there. But I hate Torterra. I really do not like Torterra. I love Piplup. I hate... In fact, I'll just say I love all of the starters for that game. But I hate their evolutions. Torterra supremacy. Like, Infernape is the most tolerable of those evolutions. Like, I love monkeys. So naturally, Chimchar was pretty great, but I liked all the first stage starters for that game. But I think they just became lackluster when they evolved. Tortilla. I love it. Oh yeah, yeah. I agree there, Strikelord. I don't dislike a single Pokemon game. I just think that some are better than others. Like, without getting into the sequels and the 2s and all that, like, I think my top-down list is Generation 3, Generation 5, Generation 2, Generation 1, Generation 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9 needs to be placed in there somewhere. I would probably place 9 above 4. So 3, 5, 2, 9, 4, 1, no. 3, 5, 2, 9, 1, 4, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. There we go. McJimmy, Gen 5 is my second favorite generation. Only because Generation 3 exists. But as far as lore and story, Generation 5 is like top tier. Generation 5 actually gets you to want to meet the legendary Pokemon. It actually focuses on them the entire game and what they are going to help you do. Confusion for what, Aragon? People have got Shiny Mew super fast in this hunt. Oh, you've seen it so many times online. You even got Shiny Mew. Yeah, no worries. I hear that RNG is broken on this game, and therefore it is easy to RNG manipulate. I really should look into doing that. Hey, Bearman Pig. I see that. I see those messages now. It looks like you came in while I was on a rant. I do not know the Muffin Man, but I hear his address is on Drury Lane. Gen 315287964. I like that list, McJimmy. Generation 4 is too hyped. And to the Generation 4 fans out there, because I actually have quite a few friends that are Generation 4 fans, my biggest issue is that Generation 3 ran just fine on the Game Boy Advanced and the Game Boy Advanced SP. Generation 3 ran phenomenally well. No glitches like whatsoever, unless you're trying to get them with the Palming Berry glitch and all that. Generation 4 was so slow in its story progression, in its world progression, had no fire Pokemon, except for if you chose Chimchar as your starter, except for Platinum. We'll excuse Platinum. But not only that, just the text speeds, even on fast, were slow. The walking animation was slow. It looked like it was trying to run on the Game Boy Color. Like, run that game on the Game Boy Color. The colors were dull. They were almost grayscale to me. For having the Game Boy DS be a supposed improvement to the Game Boy Advance SP, that game should have ran better on that console. But it was just a dumpster fire running on the DS. Either way. Kalos does get a lot of deserved heat. Kalos was an interesting game. So, for me, I also helped myself make the Generation 4 games unplayable. Bearman Pig, hopefully by Nightmare Fuel you don't mean the obvious Darkrai, but the less obvious Shaman that was my worst hunt ever. I still have nightmares about that. But I have a feeling you mean Darkrai. So Generation 4, like I said, ran so freaking incredibly slow that I got an action replay and put run through walls, or walk through walls, run anywhere, you know, all that fun stuff. Catch trainers Pokemon, you know, you name it, I put it on my game. Just to make the game more playable. And now, every time I boot up that game, it is so agonizingly slow because I can't just walk through walls. Oh gosh. Oh, Cynthia. I mean, I think a lot of gamers have had pretty sweet dreams about Cynthia. Just saying. She was not near as hard as in Diamond Pearl Platinum as she was in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Oh yeah, Shark Lord. Kalos desaturating stuff, no bueno. Terrible. I can see that, Casey. I think Gen 5 has a... I can see why somebody would think Gen 5's roster is bad. I can understand that. I mean, do I even need to mention the Conkeldurr line? Sock and Throw, like all 5 of those Pokemon are trash. I do not like Audino. I do not like Musharna. Pansage, Pansear, and Panpour were a great idea, but done terribly. Durant and Heatmore, not great. But it also has some of my favorite Pokemon ever in that game. Like, my boy Scolipede. Oh yeah, and Vanillish. Yes, let's not forget the ice cream cone. Venipede, Scolipede, and Whirlipede. Some of the best Pokemon they've ever made. I like Leavanny and Swaddle and Swaddaloon. I think that was a great one. Patrat and Watchog, didn't like. Lillipup, hated. I did not like Snivy, but I liked Oshawott and Tepig. I think those are great. Legendaries, top tier. Swords of Justice, less so. Genesect, pretty cool. Meloetta, I wish we could have got it back in the day. Dieno, great. Axew, great. Sandile, great. As she's in your 90 that you mentioned earlier. Muck 2.0. Oh, Garbodor. Or Garbodor. Noibat, great. I think Noibat, I don't know if that's actually Generation 5 or not. But, like, I love Generation 5's world so much. But, yeah, I mean, that's why I put it below Generation 3, is because 3, the Pokemon were so amazing and the world was just as great. Zekrom. Zekrom is good. Am I crazy for what, Bearman Pig? I see that you texted my watch. Oh, Siri? Noibat is Generation 6. Yeah, I kind of thought that as soon as it came out of my mouth. I was like, I don't think that's right. That's way too many dragons in that game. In regards to my Cynthia comment earlier, Can you believe that like Cynthia's supposed to be like 40 in that game? At least she portrays herself as that old. Or around that age. I don't think we ever find out what her actual age is. But yeah, like she's north of 30. Shark Lord, a lot of people are in that same boat. Lockdown brought a lot of people to the Pokemon franchise. Lusamine? That name isn't ringing a bell, but I feel like it's the mother from Generation 7. Yes, it is. Okay. Casey, that's hilarious. That's awesome, Shark Lord. I like Pokemon so much, I've bought and sold the entire collection 3 times because I'm an idiot. Well, I bought the entire collection 3 times, I've sold it 2 times. Right on, Aragon. What's the secret? 20 runaways. That's something I wouldn't mind doing again. Brass laughs and 20 switches behind him. I might be a Pokemon fan. Oh gosh dang. You and me both, Shark Lord. I'm tripping pretty bad too. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling to get the pathway down. Yeah, once I catch the Mew, I can't hunt it on this save file anymore. But since I have a copy of my save file, I could always reboot it back to before I caught it and do it again. Ultimately, what I'm going to do with this Mew is I'm going to catch it, save the game, extract a save file, and I'm going to clone the crap out of this Pokemon as far as, I'm going to send this Pokemon to, you know, the next game, reload the save file to when I had it, send it to my Heart Gold, Soul Silver game, and just rinse and repeat that until I have a box of 30 of them. Ooh. I am about 15 days into my shiny Mew hunt. Oh shoot, it knows Sing? Nice. You know, McJimmy, I very well likely might be. I've been saving giveaways for the mythical Pokemon until I hit 25,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So it's entirely possible that those two stars might align. Like, I'm definitely not opposed to doing a Mew giveaway, but I have done one, I think it was back in December that I did it. It might, no, it was around the Mewtwo raid. It might have been as early as October. So like, it's been done recently-ish, but could be done again. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Oh my. I still have 15 days to go to get my shiny Mew in Pokemon Go. Yeah, basically, McJimmy. I mean, it wouldn't just be duplicated, it would be generated by that sense of the word. because by the time the bots get to it with the save file, I can't just have them trade out, you know, boxes of Pokemon. They generate it on spot, like on demand, and send it out. So there are an infinite number of them that can be sent out. So they are generated, but based off of the Pokemon that I catch at that point. My words from the goals video have been stuck in your brain a minute or two now. Which words exactly? I said a lot of words in that video. I mean, I'm pretty sure with if the bots hadn't gone down this week, the video would have gotten more views, but we've been pretty consistently right at about 5,000 views per video. Yeah, absolutely. It would have my OT on this Mew for sure. Which should be Barasu and Hiragana for this one. Oh yeah. Hey, on the bright side, I did do my studying. Like, I had to do my studying today because it was due at midnight, and I got it done. And as far as working out, since the beginning of the year, I have dropped 8 pounds. So it's pretty good work. I'm pretty sure most of it is not drinking soda anymore and switching to watered down juice. Yeah, money targets definitely haven't been hitting the lines they need to. In fact, I think I've lost potential revenue stream more than I've gained. Which is really sad because I think the consoles might have a chance of coming out earlier than anticipated based on leaks that are reported to be pretty reliable. There's a good chance that November 2024 we're getting a new console. I personally don't think it will be until 2025, but rumors say, you know, fall of 2024, and I'll want to be able to buy a significant number of consoles at that time. That is, I think I might have said Hiragana. If I did, I apologize. That is Hiragana you wrote. I believe since it's an English word written in Japanese, it's katakana. No, that one. One of those is my name. Hey, there we go. What did I name my character? Because none of those look right. Yeah, I don't know what I named myself. I can't either. Should be that top line if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a runaway hunt. Oh, that is the name. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's brass in Japanese. Hidoru. Instead of naming it brass or barasu, I just named it the Japanese word for brass, if I remember correctly. Yeah, McJimmy, so something that goes wrong with Emerald is that they messed up the RNG seed creator when the game turns on. So normally when you turn the game off and on again, it's supposed to generate a new seed. In your first 20 frames, you know, have a chance of being shiny. Pokemon Emerald generates the same shiny seed every single time it turns on. So doing a soft reset method with Emerald, you will almost never get the shiny unless you know RNG manipulation and enforce it to be shiny. Rest in peace, uncatchable Zigzagoon. I believe it. Once upon a time, I could read it pretty well. At least the hiragana and katakana. Kanji have no chance. You don't know kanji yet, but your teacher's trying. I would love to learn to read, write, and speak Japanese. Alright. Well, I think that's a good enough spot to stop for tonight. So, I will end the stream for now. I am hoping to be able to stream again tomorrow, Monday night for sure, because I shouldn't have too much stuff pressing going on, but we'll see where we get up to. Thanks for hanging out with me while I do this, and I'll catch you guys later.